Hi guys, John Judd here. Today we're going to get into your very first guitar lesson. What I want you to do is go get tuned, and we're not going to do that in this video, but there are plenty of other videos you could probably go grab or use a tuner and get tuned up. We are going to get to playing immediately. So let's go talk about it. So the very first thing we're going to talk about are the strings. We're going to talk about your fingers. 6th string, 1st string, okay? 6th string is your thickest string, 1st string is your thinnest string. It's a little counterintuitive, to be honest, but that's what it is. Let's talk about your fingers. We're not going to count the thumb as a finger, but we're counting index to pinky, and it's 1, 2, 3, and 4. And that's how we're going to label everything. Let's talk about the nut. This is the nut. Frets right here, and the fret playing area is in between the actual frets. So if I said 3rd fret, 1st string, it'll be right here. And we play right behind the fret. So today we're going to learn 2 chords. We're going to learn E minor and A7. E minor looks like this, and let's set up our fingers. We're going to get your 2nd finger, which is your middle finger, and we're going to put it on the 2nd fret of the 5th string. Okay, and then we're going to take our ring finger, which is your 3rd finger, and we're going to put it on the 2nd fret of the 4th string. It's just a 2-fingered chord. And what we're going to do is we're then going to play every single string. Okay, nice and simple. Let's set it up one more time. You can always pause and rewind the video. Middle finger, that'll be 2nd fret on the 5th string. Ring finger, that'll be 2nd fret on the 4th string. And what we're going to do, we're going to strum every single string. Not too bad. Next chord, A7. What we're going to do is we're going to set up our middle finger on the 2nd fret of the 4th string, right there. And we're going to set up our ring finger, 3rd finger, on the 2nd fret of the 2nd string. We're going to be playing from 5 to 1. So let's set that up one more time. You're going to put your 2nd finger on the 2nd fret, 4th string. You're going to put your ring finger on the 2nd fret of the 2nd string, and you're going to strum from 5 to 1. What I want you to practice is going in between those 2 chords and get comfortable as you can right now. What we're going to do right now is go talk about how to read chord diagrams. And the graphics you're about to see will be earth-shattering. Okay, you're going to be victims of my handwriting, so I'm so sorry. But at least you'll know how to read a chord diagram. Okay, guys, now we're going to talk about chord diagrams. If you look at the diagram here, the 6th string is on the left and the 1st string is on the right. The 6th string is the thickest string. The 1st string is the thinnest string. The top darkened line is the nut, and the horizontal lines below that, those are all frets. Any numbers you see are going to be finger numbers. If you happen to see an X or an O at the top of the diagram, the X is telling you not to play that string, and the O means open string. It's almost as if you'd be looking at the guitar as if you laid it in your lap and it was face up. That's how you're looking at the fretboard. All right, there we are. Now that we know how to read chord diagrams, we're going to talk about strumming. 2 basic strokes, down and up. Down is towards your legs, up is towards your face, kind of obvious. Here's the first pattern. It's going to sound like this. It's going to be 2 downs and then a down, up, down, up. So we're going to go like this. We'll talk about the rhythms after this because that's super important. So, once again. So we're going to go down, 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 up, down, up. Okay, one more time. Once you practice that a little bit, you can always pause. Remember, you can just stop and play it a little bit. Now, if you're not understanding everything we have up on the screen, don't sweat it. What we're going to do is we'll talk about the rhythms and some other details afterwards and get the specifics down so you understand how to read everything. Pattern 2. Here we go. Pattern 2 is going to be down, up, down, up, down, down. So it's going to sound like this. Down, up, down, up, down, down. Let's talk about one thing before we move on and talk about rhythms. It's going to be your wrist. We want all of your strumming activity to be from the wrist. You don't want to be swinging a baseball bat like with your whole arm going and doing its thing. There are times for that on the guitar and your arm does move, but for the most part, we want the motion to be coming. Let's see if we can get it. Yeah. Want the motion to be coming right from there. Okay. Versus this. Okay. It's just going to make it an easier time. Try to be aware of it. It's hard in the beginning because you're worried about your left hand and all that, but the wrist, let's go for that. Hard habit to break if you get into it and do it for years. Let's talk about rhythms. On the screen, I'm going to put some basic rhythms. We're going to talk about how to read those. We're going to pop on a metronome, and I'm going to show you how these rhythms work. By the way, Pro Metronome, super helpful app for being a metronome if you don't have a physical metronome. And there's our beat right now. And the first one you see on the left of the screen is a whole note, okay? And that gets 4 beats. And here's what it's going to sound like if I play along with that particular sequence, okay? Okay, one more time. It's 4 beats. So you're going to get a count of 4. I'll even count them for you. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Next one to the right of that is going to be a half note. And you're going to have 2 beats for that one. That'll sound like this. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's go talk about the next one to the right. That one is a quarter note. What that's going to be is it gets 1 beat and it's on every single click. The next note you have on the page is a single 8th note, okay? And to the right of that, you're going to see 2 8th notes. When 2 8th notes are right next to each other, they're going to be connected with a line on the bottom. When there's a single 8th note, you'll see a little flag coming off of it. If you look at the screen, I drew something that is akin to a death claw of some sort. You're seeing my awesome artwork. I'm so sorry, but it's supposed to be a flag, but I did my best. Okay, not artistically inclined. That said, 8th notes get a half of a beat. We're going to be doing down and up strokes for the 8th notes now. And you're going to have down, up, down, up. And the way to count that is this. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and... Okay, so now if you look back at the original pattern 1 that I gave you, you're going to see 2 quarter notes and 4 8th notes. And pattern 1 will eventually sound like this. Okay, pattern 2 will sound like this. We're going to move on to other stuff like string names. I'm going to put a diagram up for you so you can see it. From the thickest string to the thinnest string, we're going to have 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And the names of the strings are E, A, D, G, B, and E. Okay? One more time. E, A, D, G, B, E. And that is something to memorize if you can. So in a first lesson, I always introduce people to traditional notation. It's a really good idea. You likely have some experience with being able to read the staff, but in case you don't, or in case you need a review, let's go talk about the staff. So now we're going to talk about the staff, specifically the treble clef. You have lines and spaces, and here are the notes in the lines and spaces. You may have seen this before. You likely have. In case you haven't, and this is new to you, it's okay. Here we go. For the lines, we have E, G, B, D, F from lowest to highest. And for the spaces, we have F, A, C, E. A lot of times what isn't included in that is a note that sits on top of the staff named G, just sitting on top of the staff. It's a good one to know because it's one of the first notes you learn when you start reading notes on guitar. It's just good to have it. So there's the staff. Here are some other things to just think about while you're working on your chords and strumming and just trying to get acclimated to what this thing is. Let's talk about our thumb. In general, it's a good idea to have your thumb in the back of the neck when you're playing. What I would do is I would imagine a line down the back of the center of the neck, and that's going to help keep your thumb in the right place and help you so you're not touching strings with your palm. That's the other thing. Don't let your palm hug the guitar. If you see this kind of thing, where I actually refer to this as the pocket, okay? You want a little pocket here. What we don't want to do is be hugging it again like you're grabbing a baseball bat. We don't want that. That's not what this is. So this right here, if you're doing that, get your palm away from the guitar. And then what that helps accomplish is it keeps your fingers so they're nice and curled on the fretboard. Also, you'll end up playing with the tips of your fingers, which will be what we're looking for. Sometimes you're going to watch people play guitar and you see that their thumb is hanging around the edge of the neck. There are times for that, and it's totally fine. If someone is playing and they always have their thumb around the edge of the neck, no matter what they're playing, I would say that's kind of a red flag on their technique a little bit. All right, guys, we did it. Here we are. If there's anything you didn't understand in the video, needed clarification on, please write a question in the comments. I'd be glad to help you out. Thanks for checking this out. Hope I helped you. Catch you soon.